Hey, what's up guys? John here. Bill Gates, as everyone knows, owns roughly 270,000 acres of American farmland, spanning from coast to coast. And a lot of people are asking themselves, why does he own this much farmland? Some people speculate and say that he wants to control the food supply. Other people think that a lot of these properties are connected or backed up to natural water sources such as streams, lakes, and rivers. Other people say that it's because hyperinflation is coming and land performs very well during those periods. And then you have another group that also thinks that we're going to be stepping into a massive depression and that land is a great investment during those times. However, what he's really doing is disturbing. It's sick. What he is doing is a few things, and he's going to make many, many billions of dollars on this investment, and he's going to strip many farmland owners of their land, of their properties in the years to come. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what he's doing that is going to, one, make him the largest farmland owner ever, two, what he's doing to control the food supply and get us off of meat, and three, what he's doing to rip off the US taxpayer through this real estate scheme. Please smash that like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube is going to share this content and educate more people as to what's really going on that the mainstream media is not talking about. Please smash that like button. Let's begin. Everybody knows Bill Gates is heavily invested in companies such as Impossible Foods, Beyond Meat, Memphis Meat, Hampton Creek Foods, and other companies. You know, the founder of Impossible Foods, the CEO, said dead serious about making all food animals obsolete in 13 and a half years by 2035. Imagine that. No more American cheeseburgers, no more American steaks. Obsolete, gone. But how could he achieve such an ambitious goal? And why would he want to do such a thing? Well, this is where it gets interesting. He now is utilizing some of his farmland to drive contracts with McDonald's, controlling French fries, onions, and carrots. So then what he's doing is he's using that contract, that connection, and then he's building out a relationship to pour down our throats this impossible food, this plant-based narrative. And now they're saying how Beyond Meat CEO really feels about working with McDonald's. It's really clever. But then what can they do to drive more curiosity? How can they make plant-based, lab-based foods cool? Well, what they're doing is they're now tying in celebrities such as Jay-Z, Ruby Rose, a lot of other people. But vegan meat brand Impossible Foods raised $300 million in a round of funding backed by celebrity investors including Jay-Z, Ruby Rose, will.i.am, Serena Williams. The California-based brand announced on Monday its multi-million-dollar funding round led by Tamsec Holdings and Horizon Ventures, which will be used to help the brand scale up as it faces higher demand. Including the most recent funding round, the Bill Gates-backed company raised $750 million. The full list of celebrity investors includes Serena Williams, Jay Brown, Kirk Cousins, Jay-Z, The Daily Show host Trevor Noah, Reddit co-founder Harold and Kumar star Kal Penn, Katy Perry, Questlove, Ruby Rose, Everybody Loves Raymond producer Jaden Smith, will.i.am, and Zed. So they're bringing in all these celebrities because it seems like a lot of people follow celebrities and they look for them on advice on what they should be eating and digesting and how they should be living their lives. So they're recruiting all of this talent. They're building out these big contracts. They're taking over the farmland to prevent farmers from actually farming on that land. And then what they do next is sheer genius. When you scroll down in this article, he says, my investment group chose to do this, Bill Gates said on a Reddit in March when asked about his farmland purchases while promoting his latest book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. It is not connected to climate. He did acknowledge that a productive farming technique can help reduce deforestation in other parts of the world. Though the Gateses are major owners of American farmland, the couple's holdings only represent a fraction of the 283 million acres of farmland that is owned and rented by non-farmers. But that could change soon. About 40% of farmland is owned by seniors 65 years of age or older, according to a 2014 estimate of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, meaning more farmland is expected to come on the market soon. But it's fascinating. He's putting this farmland inside of a group of sustainable farming. So In 2020, he pointed out the acreage Bill Gates' firm owns is in a sustainability program. That program ensures agriculture on the land is audited to meet standards like soil, health, water management created by nonprofit Leading Harvest, which counts one subsidiary of the Gates investment firm as a partner. Well, Biden's paying farmers more money not to farm on that land than to farm on it. The goal is to add 4 million acres of farmland to the Conservative Reserve Program, which takes land out of the production to blunt agriculture's environmental impact. Bill Gates' real estate investing strategy is sheer genius. He basically gets the land for free. He finances the land, and the US government makes the payments. He's making a killing on it, and he gets to roll out an entire new industry through this synthetic, lab-based, plant-based, soy-based food product that we're all going to be forced to eat. But how he says that this is a good idea and how he's crafting it is just sheer genius. He's doing it for us all. We know that one day the best way to subsequent carbon is through the soil. So we just let Bill Gates buy it all. And then it's going to take big swaths of land, like what Bill Gates has taken to do that, says Kona Manson, the founder of the president of Jubilee Justice and Potlucker Capital, which happens to support regeneration agriculture projects owned by people of color. He's making money on both sides. When the government keeps printing all this money, inflation goes up, so does assets. Well, what's happening is if inflation's 5% or 7% and he's borrowing money at 2%, he's making the spread, which could be 3, 4, 5%. He makes that spread on his money. Then what happens is he makes more money not farming, so he's really just doing really well. Then he's regulating out these other farmers, his competition. He's then going to move in, buy out their farmland. He's going to take over the farmland industry, is what his business model is. And then what happens after that is it's history for the beef industry. But that's not good enough for Bill Gates. What he's now doing is, besides their enrollment in the land holdings in Leading Harvest, the Gates Foundation in 2020 also created an agricultural nonprofit, Gates AG1, which focuses on bringing affordable solutions to small-scale farmers in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia to improve crop productivity. The Gates Foundation said in a statement that its agricultural efforts do not extend to farming in the U.S., but those working on projects with both investors and farmers to create ecologically sustainable farming methods and support diverse and disadvantaged farming communities, say rethinking agriculture and working to avert a climate crisis go hand in hand. They add this will take those with large parcels of land like the Gates holdings to do it. So he's taking stakes in all these small farmers, their land. And what he's then going to do, I bet, is utilize those stakes to take over further control over their land. And as he has the control, he basically owns the land. He's forcing people into doing something they otherwise wouldn't have to do if it wasn't for the regulations put forth by Bill Gates. So what I think he's going to do with farmland over the coming few years is probably 2, 3, 4, 5x his portfolio. And I think the Impossible Food CEO saying meats will be obsolete by 2035, I hate to say it, but it's probably going to be right. It's probably going to be true because Biden, his new plan against climate, about preserving land, about not leaning on meats, this is going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be a major change. And when you give Bill Gates the power to say what we can and what we can't eat and what's good for the world and what's not good for the world, we have to ask ourselves, does he have a conflict of interest? What's our life going to look like in the next 5 years or 10 years? While farmland may stretch far and wide, farmers and ranchers themselves make up just about 1.3% of the employed U.S. population, totaling about 2.6 million people. Today, there are about 2 million farms in operation in the U.S., a steep decline from 1935 when the number of farms peaked at around 7 million. So when these farmers get rolled out and pushed out of business through regulation and Biden's admin, what's going to happen? Well, fewer people are going to own farms. So when fewer people own farms, more people will have no choice over the foods that they consume or are forced to consume. And this is great business for the elite. So we're going to see a massive change coming for what we can and what we can't eat in America, and it's happening so fast. Some people say it's good, but when you have just a few people controlling what we can eat, they can do anything, they can The food can be healthy, it could be disgusting, it could be cancerous, it could be all these things. We have no idea. But it's interesting, we're learning a lot about how the world really works in 2020, 2021, and I believe the next couple of years are going to be a real wake-up call for all of us in America. What do you think about all this? Drop your comments below, smash that like button, consider subscribing here to learn about personal finance, real estate, business, the economy. Also, consider subscribing to my second channel. I'll leave the links pinned down below in the top comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.